Some MPs demanded the ruling be reversed. Others demanded Starmer resign. Most simply sat there, stunned into silence. Then, the news alerts hit again. Clips of Starmer's explosion flooded social media. Hashtags like #Starmer Meltdown and #PM Thrown Out surged worldwide. International media cut into programming, memes flooded TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Teenagers who didn't know what Standing Order 43 was yesterday knew every detail today. Every screen carried the same split image. Farage, composed, Starmer, broken. Across Britain, people stared at the footage in disbelief in pubs, offices, factory floors. Some laughed, others shook their heads, and more people said the same thing: he's lost it. Others shook their heads. Most said the same thing: he's lost it. In a matter of hours, the focus groups were forming, and the verdict was brutal, unstable, unhinged, unelectable. It wasn't a bad look. It was the kind of moment that stains a leader permanently. Inside Labour HQ, panic set in. The phones rang incessantly. Advisors sprinted between offices, and emergency meetings began before the footage had even cooled. They attempted to draft statements, one after another, but every line collapsed under the same reality. Nothing could rewrite what the country had watched. The Prime Minister is passionate, rejected. He was provoked, rejected. He responded emotionally, rejected, because footage doesn't lie. A sitting Prime Minister had to be escorted out by security. The world saw it, and no amount of spin could unsee it. Angela Rayner, reportedly furious, paced and demanded answers nobody could give. Senior Labour figures began leaking phrases to journalists that sounded less like damage control and more like surrender. Unacceptable, unforgivable. He's finished. By nightfall, the collapse deepened, and the numbers arrived like a hammer. Then the flash polls hit. Labour down 12 points overnight. Reform UK surging. The Conservatives rebounding. And Starmer's personal approval rating didn't dip. It fell off a cliff. And then, shortly before midnight, whispers turned into motion. A draft letter of no confidence started doing the rounds inside Labour. Names were added in quick succession. Hushed conversations turned into urgent alliances. By morning, Westminster wasn't just buzzing. It was in full-scale political meltdown. Every hallway hummed. Every face was strained. Everyone acted calm while privately calculating the same thing: how fast this could end. Meanwhile, Starmer vanished. No statement, no press appearance, no social media, not a single tweet. And that silence turned into its own headline, because nothing screams louder, "I've lost control," than disappearing during a crisis you created. Outside Downing Street, reporters packed the gates like vultures. Commentators went live to defend him and failed in real time. One tried to claim Starmer showed passion. The internet shredded the argument within minutes, because passion doesn't end with security walking you out like an unruly teenager at a football match. It was Farage's calm, suddenly, that became the measuring stick for everything. Each pundit had a version of the same question: how did Farage stay composed while the Prime Minister disintegrated on camera? Outside Parliament, calm and surgical, he delivered a short statement that landed like a final verdict. Leadership demands poise, clarity, and calm. What we saw yesterday was none of these. Britain needs a Prime Minister who can withstand pressure, not collapse under it. The clip went viral within minutes. Even people who despised him admitted it. He'd struck the nerve. The contrast was too brutal to ignore. Farage, still. Starmer, shattered. The image was now fixed in the public mind. By midnight, Labour MPs were arriving at Downing Street. Emergency talks. Tight lips. Pale faces. No cameras. No statements, just the unmistakable atmosphere of a party preparing to do something drastic. Rumors surged through Westminster like wildfire. Some ministers were urging Starmer to step aside temporarily. Others demanded a full leadership contest. Some wanted a caretaker Prime Minister installed immediately. The country watched, breath held, refreshing feeds by the second, waiting for the next domino to fall. Inside. Number 10. Chaos ruled. Advisors clashed behind closed doors. Ministers threatened to resign. Nobody was talking about strategy anymore. They were talking about survival. Starmer paced furious, humiliated, trapped, and the threat wasn't Farage anymore. Not really. It was his own party, his own public image, his own collapse. Because deep down, past the denial, past the anger, Keir Starmer knew the truth he couldn't say out loud. One meltdown caught on camera might cost him everything he'd spent a lifetime building. Nigel Farage did what no British politician has managed in decades. He forced Prime Minister Keir Starmer out of the House of Commons, live in full view of a stunned nation. And the fallout isn't just political anymore. It's mutating into something far bigger, a national crisis Westminster never saw coming. It was just another day in Parliament. MPs half listening, some faking interest, others glued to their phones. The Commons played its usual part, a theater of scripted outrage and performative clashes, until, without warning, something shifted. Farage stood. No dramatics, no smirk, just a cold, focused stare locked directly on the Prime Minister. The room tightened. And then, calmly and deliberately, Farage delivered the question that cracked the chamber open. Prime Minister, if your plan for immigration is working, why have illegal crossings surged another 20% this month alone? One sentence, one precision strike, and everything suddenly felt exposed. Starmer froze, the air thickened, camera zoomed in, and Farage didn't let go. His tone stayed clinical, cold, exact, relentless as he began stacking up the facts like blades. Record arrivals, canceled deportation flights, billions burned on hotels. Then came the twist of the knife. At what point does responsibility become yours, Prime Minister? MPs shifted in their seats. Labour's front bench watched, tightening with dread. Starmer tried to steady himself, but the ground under him was already gone. He snapped. Starmer launched to his feet, face burning red, voice cracking as he exploded across the chamber. How dare you stand there and peddle lies? The Commons froze. Even the Speaker looked stunned. This wasn't debate anymore. This was a breakdown in real time. And Starmer didn't stop. He got louder, sharper, more erratic. He jabbed the air, ranted about division and dangerous rhetoric. Then he made one fatal mistake that flipped the entire room against him. People like you. It landed wrong, audibly, visibly. The chamber recoiled. The insult didn't sting. Farage exposed Starmer. Farage didn't budge. He didn't have to. He just sat there, still and composed, watching the Prime Minister unravel in front of the whole nation. MPs stared in open-mouthed amazement. Journalists reached for their phones. Every camera lens in Westminster locked in. Then the Speaker sliced through the bedlam-cold, clear final. Prime Minister, take your seat at once. Starmer ignored him. He continued yelling, continued pointing, continued proving Farage's point with every breathlessness. And then the unimaginable happened. The Speaker cited Standing Order 43, an almost forgotten, seldom used rule of parliamentary discipline, never applied to a sitting Prime Minister. I am ordering the Prime Minister to withdraw from the chamber. Gasps, laughter, shock. The room fell into a dead silence that felt unreal. Starmer froze. He mumbled something nobody cared. Security began marching forward, not in a rush, just steadily advancing with purpose. The anger melted from Starmer's face and was replaced by something more chilling, humiliation. Cameras flashed, and history was made. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom was escorted out of the House of Commons, out of the chamber, out of control, out of power. Within seconds, the footage had spread. Phones were glowing, social feeds were detonating. The clips went viral before Starmer even hit the corridor. And Farage, he never stirred. He just watched it unfold, silent, sharp, unshaken. Inside Westminster, pandemonium broke out. MPs mouthed silent words of incredulity. Staffers ran. Journalists sprinted. Nobody doubted what they had just seen. This wasn't a political mistake. This was collapse, the kind that ends careers, shatters parties, and rewrites history. Downstairs, aides tried to rally him. One reached out, Starmer shoved them off. Another warned about the cameras outside. Not now, Starmer snapped, storming past them with his face still flushed. He no longer resembled a prime minister. He was a man who had just realized 67 million people had watched him lose everything. Farage stepped into the corridor, measured, silent, and already 10 steps ahead. The man who took down a prime minister with one line was walking out as if from a routine meeting, not the wreckage of a constitutional detonation. Reporters swarmed him. Microphones flew. Questions rained down. Did you plan this? Were you trying to provoke him? Is he unfit to lead? Undeterred, Farage just said, almost in a hush, I think the country saw what it needed to see. Why él siguió caminando. That one clip blew up online million views in minutes. Back inside, the Speaker conferred with senior clerks. Legal minds scrambled to process what just happened. A sitting prime minister had been forced out of Parliament live. Unthinkable. Unprecedented. Whispers spread fast. Did the Speaker overreach? Has a constitutional line just been crossed?